Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's time for the digital huddle. And, we've been talking and interviewing different people on staff and office staff and on the dream team, and really getting to see these little specific things that people are gifted in and so much of their story. And today you're in for a treat because we have Avery in the house. Someone get loud for Avery. What's going on, Avery?
Hey guys, what's up? How's the dream team doing today?
Man, so good. I'm so glad we get to talk to you today because you have just been a joy on our staff here at GC. But before that, you were on the Dream Team for a long time. And so today we want to talk about the importance of being on the Dream Team and what that did in your life and how you even got to that place and what that journey looked like. And then contrast it to now you're on staff and the view of the Dream Team from a staff side. And the need that we all know it takes all of us coming together, but I want to hear from you. And so tell us a little bit about you, how you got to this place, GT, what happened?
Yeah, it's a really cool story. I had separated from the church for a while. I grew up going to like a Southern Baptist church, and we were super involved. It was Wednesday nights, Awanas, Saturdays, and then Sunday all day with lunch and fellowship afterwards. So it was a big part of my life. And then my family moved to Florida when I was about middle school age, and we just kind of never found a church to plug into down here. So I went all through middle school, high school, and college really without plugging in anywhere, and really just kind of fell away from God. And it was not great. But it wasn't until I had the opportunity to move in with my grandma, my great grandma in Texas, when I got a new job. And we spent about a month together before I had an apartment. And she helped me come back to Christ and pray the sinner's prayer and really embrace that. And it really changed my life. But it was totally on a personal level. I didn't really feel connected with the church that she was going to, and I lived about an hour and a half away. And so it was just me reading my Bible, worshiping in the car to some of the old hymns that I remembered from when I was a child. But I never really had that community aspect until I moved back to Florida. And it was right around the time that Dakota was doing awesome marketing for the new campus here on Center Street. And I got all the marketing in my mail. I was seeing it on Facebook. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go and see what this is about. And I started coming on Sundays, and I think this is a pretty common story where you're coming every Sunday, but you're not really plugging in. And it wasn't until Kyle Trish actually one service came up to me in the lobby and was like, "Hey, I've seen you here a couple times. Have you done at the time Growth Track?" And I was like, "No, I don't even know what that is." And it wasn't until then when I plugged in from his invite that it made a world of difference. I got plugged into the production team and the broadcast team with Shannon, and it totally changes your walk with God, being able to do it with like-minded people.
Yeah, that's so good. And so what I heard you say there is that if we harass you enough, we will reach people for Jesus.
Exactly, exactly. Just some people need that invite. They're not going to take the initiative, themselves.
I love it, man. And you're on the dream team for a long time at a high level, and obviously just a huge asset for the church and for the kingdom as a whole. Then, when an opportunity came and presented itself, you joined the staff, and you've just been such a key member of our staff. And I couldn't imagine it without you now. And so, tell us like what it's like being on staff and seeing the relationship of the need for people serving.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, it's such a blessing and an honor just to be part of what Generation's doing here in the community, to reach everyone here in Jupiter and even beyond with some of the mission works that Pastor Ben and Melissa do with Bishop Mushtak and the Generation Worship Center. It's crazy how the ripple can really expand. But seeing everything from the staff perspective, it really almost makes Dream Team that much more important. You realize that a lot of what the staff does here is creating a lot of the opportunities for people to plug in. Of course, we're always going to need people in the parking team. We're always going to need people smiling and making coffee and greeting people. But as the church grows, it's how do we find more opportunities for people to plug in and have that same experience that I got to walk through, where yeah, we've come back to Christ, but are we really plugged in? Are we really doing community with everybody else?
Yeah, that's so good. I think something that, this wasn't a planned conversation in this part of it, but I just, seeing you and hearing your story, I think that there's something really special whenever time goes by and a person pushes themselves to this other like level. And it could look like a million different things, but in your case, it was you were attending and then you were serving and now you're on staff. And it's like you keep on growing. And now you being on staff, you're impacting so many other people who are attending or serving. And like it's that ripple does just keep on going. And it goes beyond us.
Definitely. I think what made a really big difference was actually going through the freedom process. And it made me kind of be very introspective and find where I found my identity. And a lot of times it was in really unhealthy places, whether it's what other people thought of me, or maybe my performance at work, or what I was doing at work. And whenever maybe there was a big change in my life, it would be earth shattering because of where I was placing my identity. And I think walking through freedom, along with being so plugged in with Dream Team, not only with what I was doing on Sundays, but being plugged into Dream Team, you're getting all the updates from everything else happening in the church. So you're able to serve at things like Devoted or Serve Day or the Fall Block Party, or maybe there's just some one-off event that the staff needs help with. It really plugs you into these places. Combine that with freedom and everything that you get with freedom, you understand the importance of creating these spaces for other people to experience ministry and further their walk with God.
Yeah, it's definitely not just a task to get done. It's community that's being made while we're doing it. And um, yeah, no, I mean, my life was I grew up in the church, and so like serving was a part of our family, it's just what we did. And I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't raised that way. Like I needed that community. And I think that goes for so many of us. We need that community in our life. We need people in our life to do life with, and serving is a great way to make it not about me and make some friends doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's this shift that we've seen in the last 15, 20 years from, I don't know, when I was in church the first time growing up, where there was a lot of community, but not always a lot of content. And now it's totally reversed, where you can open your Instagram, you can go scroll through Reels or TikTok, and you've got all the content there. You can find the content, but a lot of times, especially post COVID, it's really hard to find that community aspect.
Yeah,
And I think that's what's so vital about plugging into Dream Team.
that's so good, man. All right, so if we had one last thought, what would your last thought be? Like, what do you want to leave people with on this huddle today?
I really want to leave people with Philippians 2, specifically Philippians 2, 1 through 4. And it just talks about if you've ever felt that encouragement from Christ, any comfort from his love, it's your duty to go out and serve your brother and further the kingdom of God. That's what we're called to do. So I'd really encourage someone to just open up their Bible, quickly read Philippians chapter 2, and see how it speaks to your heart. And I challenge yourself to think, what's your next step? If you've already gone through next steps, what's your next step 2.0? And how can you further the kingdom of God? And I don't think for everybody that means jumping on staff or becoming a pastor or a minister. I think it looks different for everybody. Maybe it's pastoring the people you work with at work, or leading your family to follow God. So I would really encourage everyone to focus on Philippians.
To grow and to show the love that God showed you. I love it, man. I love you.
I
So,
love you too, Pastor Mike.
hey, everyone, get in the chat, give a big round of applause. Hip, hip, hooray to Avery. But man, great word today. Thank you for sharing with us and encouraging us to take a step further in our walk.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you.